Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to start a short story written by Guy de Maupassant, who's a French writer, and the story's name is The Necklace. And you will see we are going to do the first paragraph. First, let me explain the passage a little bit, this opening passage. If you see from The Necklace, that is written by Guy de Maupassant, it has extreme importance. Why it is important? Because this paragraph is introducing the central conflict of the story. What is the major conflict? And that conflict is the difference between reality and desire. What you desire is totally different from reality in which you live or in which you exist. If you see, Maupassant immediately presents Matilda Loisel. There maybe I may mispronounce the word, but will keep Matilda. And she is a woman who is trapped between her ordinary social position. She belongs to a middle class, you can say. And but she has luxurious dreams. Her dreams do not match with her social position. All right. So it is basically a tragedy. And we find that the tragedy of the story grows from the psychological conflict. She has psychological conflict. Psychologically, she is not comfortable. She thinks that she deserves more. So now let's talk about lines, and I hope you will listen to them carefully, and you can have different kind of questions, the questions that you have right now in your quiz. So don't underestimate your teacher. So ji, first sentence, if you see, very, very important. She was one of those pretty and charming girls who, as if through some blunder of fate, are born into a family of pan pushers. Look at the beginning. The narrator begins by emphasizing Matilda's physical beauty and charm. She is beautiful, she is charming, attractive. She is naturally attractive and graceful, but there is a question mark. However, we see blunder of fate. You see the phrase blunder of fate. It suggests that destiny has made a mistake. By mistake, she's born to a poor family or to a family of middle class. According to Matilda's thinking, someone as beautiful as she is should have been born into a rich or aristocratic family. She does not deserve to be born to a middle-class family. Then another expression you'll find, that is family of pan pushers. It refers to lower middle-class clerks and office workers. This phrase is slightly insulting because it reduces the family to boring bureaucratic work. This already reveals Matilda's attitude toward ordinary life. She considers it dull, insignificant, and beneath her. The sentence also introduces one of the story's major ideas. And what is it? It is social inequality. Society values wealth. Society values class. And it values both of them so strongly that Matilda feels beauty alone is not enough, unless it is supported by money and status. That's very interesting. First sentence is very interesting. It has introduced so many things. Then, she had no dowry, no prospects, no possibility of becoming known, appreciated, loved, or finding a wealthy and distinguished husband. Look at this line. It's very interesting again. Every sentence is well knitted. Here we come to know why Matilda feels trapped. We find the answer to that question. Here we find in the 19th century French society, where marriage often depended on money and social class. If you're rich, if you belong to a rich family, you can get married easily. But if you're not, you are in trouble, though even you are beautiful. A dowry was property or money given by a bride's family to improve marriage opportunities. Since Matilda has no dowry, she cannot attract wealthy men. We'll find a repetition of no creates a feeling of hopelessness. No dowry, no prospects, no possibility. How impactful this no is. Again and again, it is used with every word. So this repetition emphasizes limitation and frustration. Matilda thinks that she is completely deprived of opportunities. Should she think like that? Or should she not? We'll come to it at the end. If you see the phrase known, appreciated, loved, shows that Matilda desires not only wealth, but also admiration and recognition. She wants society to notice her beauty and elegance. She dreams of becoming important and respected among upper class people. See how your thoughts can consume you? The phrase wealthy and distinguished husband also reveals her idea of happiness. She connects love and success with social status and riches rather than emotional compatibility. Emotional compatibility is not important for her. What is important for her is social status and riches. And so she settled for a pretty clerk in the Ministry of Education. The word settled is very important here. It implies compromise and disappointment. She's married to a clerk. Matilda does not marry for love or happiness. She marries because she has no better option. It was the ultimate choice. And his husband is described as a petty clerk. It means a low-ranking office employee. Mopsa deliberately uses a humble description to contrast Matilda's grand dreams with her ordinary reality. The Ministry of Education sounds official, but the adjective petty destroys any prestige attached to the job. It looks petty, it looks unimportant, not praiseworthy. not to dream, not to be dreamt of. This contrast reflects Matilda's own frustration with middle class life. This sentence also creates sympathy for uh, Loiser later in the story because readers realize from the beginning that Matilda undervalues him. She does not like her husband, right? She does not value her. She does not respect her. Sorry, she does not value him. She does not value his her life even. So unable to adorn herself, she remained simple, but as miserable as if she'd come down in the world. The next paragraph is also important. Adorn herself, if you see, it means to decorate herself with fashionable dresses, jewelry, and luxury items. Matilda cannot afford these things, so she lives simply. By force, she is living like that. However, the important part is her emotional reaction. She behaves as if she'd come down in the world. Normally, this phrase describes someone who was once rich but became poor. Yet, Matilda has never been wealthy. Her suffering comes not from actual loss, but from imagined loss. She's imagining this. She has never been wealthy. This reveals her psychological problem. She lives more in fantasy than reality. She measures happiness through material wealth. She believes she deserves a higher social position. Mopsa here criticizes human dissatisfaction. We always feel dissatisfied. Matilda's misery is self-created because it grows from comparison and envy. She is destroying herself by her own thinking. For women have no caste or breed, their beauty, their grace, and their charm serve them in lieu of birth and family background. Each and every sentence is meaningful, well intricated, well knitted. See, the narrator moves from Matilda's personality to a broader social comment about women in society. Now, the focus transfers to women generally, to women rather, caste or breed. It refers to inherited social rank. The narrator claims that for women, beauty and elegance can replace noble birth. In other words, attractive women can sometimes rise socially even if they are born poor. This reflects 19th century social realities where women often depended often depended on appearance and marriage for advancement because they had limited economic independence. This line also exposes society's superficial values, how superficial these values were. Women are judged primarily by three things. Number one, beauty. Number two, grace. Number three, charm. And there was no importance of intelligence or achievement. It did not have any importance when you were judging a woman. Thus, Mopsa is criticizing a society where appearance determines value. Your appearance matters. Your inner self does not matter at all. So the last sentence, their native fairness, their instinct for elegance, their versatile minds are their sole hierarchy, making shop girls the equals of grandest ladies. Native fineness means natural refinement and sophistication. Matilda possesses these qualities instinctively, which is why she feels she belongs among aristocrats. Then another phrase, soul hierarchy, means these personal qualities become the only ladder for women to rise socially. The narrator also claims that even shop girls can become equal to aristocratic women if they possess elegance and charm. You can also take example of Pygmalion by Bernard Shaw, where a shop girl becomes a duchess. Nobody recognizes her. So this reflects the social fluidity of urban French society, where outward appearance could sometimes blur class differences. At the same time, Mopson's statement is slightly ironic. Although beauty may help women socially, it cannot truly erase class divisions. Matilda's later suffering proves this harsh reality. She's beautiful, but she has to face a real tough life, right? So now we are going to talk about literary techniques in detail. If you see, irony is used here. Irony dominates the entire passage. Matilda thinks she deserves luxury because of her beauty, yet her obsession with wealth eventually destroys her happiness. The greatest irony here is that she considers herself unfortunate at the beginning, but later becomes genuinely poor because of her desires. Future will tell you. As you see the example here, as if she'd come down in the world. She is acting like a fallen aristocrat despite never having belonged to the upper class. She's never been to the upper class. She has never belonged to that, but she thinks that she has fallen from that aristocracy. Then you'll also find foreshadowing. The opening prepares we readers for future tragedy. Matilda's dissatisfaction and longing for luxury hint that her desires will lead to disaster. You can see the example. She had no dowry, no prospects. So this creates a sense of frustration that later drives the plot. Then social commentary is also found here. Rich material, rich themes, rich techniques you find. Mopsa's criticism on the materialistic values of French society is very prevalent here. It dominates here. Women's worth depends on beauty, marriage, wealth, appearance. The passage exposes how society pressures women to seek status through luxury and social recognition. Then you will find another one is the repetition. The respected word no, sorry, the repeated word no creates rhythm and emotional intensity. If you see example, no dowry, no prospects, no possibility, this repetition highlights Matilda's feelings of emptiness and deprivation. You'll also find another technique that is contrast. You find we have read, we are reading third story, and we have also done one essay. You find certain similarities in certain use of techniques, and contrast is one of them. There is a strong contrast between Matilda's beauty and her poverty. Both are opposite. Her dreams and her reality, and her desires and her actual life. All these three you should keep in your mind, and those three contrasts will help you understand the whole story till the end. So this contrast is driving the emotional tension of the story. Then last technique you'll find, that is narrative tone. We have been familiar with it, because narrative tone is found even in essay, even in short stories, in The Telltale Heart. It was a narrative. Then a story, a hanging, there was a narrative. All right. Even in The Last Leaf, it was slightly different, was more dialogue, less narration, but there was narration. The narrative tone is partly sympathetic and partly critical. At times, readers pity Matilda because society limits women's opportunities, but the narrator also subtly criticizes her vanity and dissatisfaction. Her vanity and dissatisfaction are should be more criticized, because it is because of her that she is in problem, or she will be in problem in future. Now, themes. First important theme is materialism. Matilda values luxury. She does not value emotional contentment. She believes expensive objects and social prestige can bring happiness. These are the ultimate source of happiness. This theme later becomes central when the necklace causes years of suffering. Then social class. Class differences dominate Matilda's thinking. She constantly compares herself to wealthy women and feels trapped by middle class life. Now, the story shows how social ambition can create emotional pain. If you're satisfied what you are content. You'll not feel pain emotionally. You'll not feel troubled. You'll feel satisfied. But this is not the case here. Her social ambition is creating problems emotionally, psychologically, and even physically. In future, you will see. Then another theme, that is appearance versus reality. That is a theme we also discussed or talked about in drama, especially Oedipus Rex. Matilda appears poor but imagines herself aristocratic. How funny it is, how painful it is. You are thinking what you are not. Later, the necklace itself symbolizes illusion because it looks valuable, but it is fake. It is not the real one. It does not cost much. What they were thinking, what they think. This theme begins in this opening passage even. Then female position in society is very important theme in this story. Women in the story are judged by beauty, judged by charm, and marriageability. Mopsa reveals how limited women's opportunities were during that period. They were poor souls. They were under pressure. Then another theme is dissatisfaction and desire. Matilda cannot appreciate what she has. She does not show content. Her constant desire for more creates misery. That is the problem. If you want to live a peaceful life, you should limit yourself. You should limit your ambitions, especially materialistic ambitions. Your life becomes hell. So this story suggests that uncontrolled ambition and envy destroy peace of mind. Peace of mind is important. That is very important in your practical life, in your whole life. If you are living in peace, you have peace of mind, you are the blessed one. But people don't think it. They become materialistic. Materialism becomes more important for them. Now, let me critically analyze it. If you see, Mopson's portrayal of Matilda is psychological realistic. It shows reality, psychological reality. Many people feel dissatisfied, not because they lack necessities, but because they compare themselves with others. They look around them, what other people have and what we do not have. Do you think this is the reality we should do in our life? Matilda represents this universal human weakness. We do this. We know that it is dangerous, but still we follow that. The author also critiques bourgeois society, where social appearance matters more than genuine happiness. Matilda dreams of luxury because society teaches her that wealth equals success and respect. It is the society that should be condemned too, as well as Matilda, why she believes in it. However, Mopsa does not completely excuse her. Matilda's tragedy partly comes from her own vanity and pride. Just like Oedipus, only fate does not play important role. His own actions, character, nature also add to that tragedy. She ignores the simple comforts and affection already present in her life. She's not so poor. She is a mediocre. She has basic necessities of life. And the most important thing, that she has a very caring husband. But she does not praise it. She does not give importance to it. She gives importance to materialism, to materialistic items, what she does not have, but other rich people have. So we can say the passage, therefore, operates on two levels. Number one, a criticism of unfair social structures. Social structures are unfair. They don't create balance in the society. Rather, they create problems in society. And second one is a criticism of human greed and dissatisfaction. It is not only society, but it is also human beings' greed, dissatisfaction that create problem. So it is complex. So that complexity makes the story powerful and timeless. It is universal. See, we talked about being timeless. That was in Bernard Shaw's plays, Arms and the Man, the themes that he presented there in Arms and the Man. They are universal, they are timeless, they are not bound to a society. This story is also not bound to a society. It is not bound to time. So let me conclude it. This passage, it effectively introduces Matilda's personality, her desires, her emotional conflict. And you see irony, repetition, social commentary, and contrast. And all of them present a woman consumed by dreams of wealth and status. The extract lays the foundation for the entire story by showing how dissatisfaction, how obsession with social appearance can make your life hell, how it can lead you to suffering. It also reflects broader themes of class inequality, materialism, and the restricted role of women in society. I hope you have understood it, and I hope you will listen to it with honesty. If you have any questions, you can inbox me, you can ask me, and make notes. Thank you for watching.